Sorry, Steve, I kind of slipped in today. Sorry, you guys. Keep you waiting. It's just that there's so much to digest on the weather maps this morning. About 3 hours until low tide, 67 degrees, 8:45, October 6th. Kind of mild, kind of muggy. It's not really fog this morning. Fog is a cloud that's touching the ground. This morning, the cloud is not touching the ground. It is the fog kind of cloud, stratocumulus. And you get different kinds of fog, you know. Yesterday it was radiation fog. It just formed kind of in place because of radiational cooling and that cooler air that came in from the northeast with that high yesterday. And then there's something called advection fog. You know, we talk about cold air, advection, warm air, advection. That's when it moves in. So now we have the low clouds and fog moving in from the ocean. But obviously there's not that much wind. Zero wind here. But there's a light breeze from the south and southeast. Pia's boat, Leif's boat, pointed towards the west, more for the current of the water than the air. If I were to stare at the clouds, you'd probably be able to see that they're moving pretty much from right to left, from the south and southeast. So we are between two major weather systems that have been on the map forever, really. Here's the satellite image. In the lower right, that is really elongated Tropical Storm Philippe, looking more like just a big, juicy front of rain than wind, but it does have some wind with it. And then off to our west, there's another cloud that has origins from way back in the Pacific Ocean, from off of really Japan and Russia. And so you have air that's come from across the nation from the Pacific and across the ocean from the Atlantic meeting here, and right in between, you see all that dark over the ocean? That is sinking air. So where the clouds are, that's rising air. Where it's clear, Nantucket again this morning, or just south of Nantucket, that's sinking air. And these two weather systems are coming at one another, and they're going to join right over southeastern Canada and the northeastern United States tomorrow. But between them, there's going to be an area of sinking air. You can't have just rising air coming in from the west and the east without some sinking air in between. It just wouldn't make sense. Dynamically, you don't want these things to be 20 minutes long, right? So you're just going to have to take my word for it. So let's go to the quantitative precipitation forecast. Let's start with the rain part of this, and we can see the rain coming in from the west, developing this afternoon. Shower and a thunderstorm is possible, where it was so hot the last few days, and also from the southeast. And now you see there's two columns of air of rain. One is heaviest to the west and along and just east of the Hudson River now is how it looks, and the other just misses Cape Cod and goes into Maine. And so those are the two systems joining together over southeastern Canada and Quebec tomorrow. But as they join up, there's going to be an area of very little rain and people complaining that they said it was going to rain today. A little like last Saturday when, remember, Rockport got 0.03 and Fitchburg got 3.5. I don't think it's going to be as dramatic this weekend, but there are going to be people saying they said it was going to rain and it did not rain. It's just so challenging when these weather systems are coming at you from a couple thousand miles to the west and a couple thousand miles to the east, and they're going to meet right up over you, and how are they going to interact? It's really fascinating. Yes, the most interesting weather on Earth, as I said yesterday. All right, so let's look at we'll start with a couple things here. How about wind? We'll go to the wind. What is wind? Air moving from high to low, and we have a strong high way out over the Atlantic Ocean to the east of us. That's that new colder high that came in yesterday. And so the gradient between that high and Philippe stays mostly offshore. So the heaviest winds are north and east of Philippe, which looks like, look at this, it's got dual centers. You have one low coming toward Cape Cod, then another one forms well to its east, and then it looks like as they come ashore tomorrow, there's one on the Maine coast and there's another one on the Nova Scotia coast. So we have a sort of a split personality, Philippe, going into Maine and Canada with the heaviest wind from the east and northeast staying way off to the east of us. And then here comes the merge to our north, and now we all get the wind from the west starting tomorrow night, New York, western New England. Then Sunday, really powerful wind coming in northern New York from the west. That's the colder air blending in. Actually, it's hybrid air because this system is going to turn into an occluded storm. All right, so that's the wind aspect. Hope we got that. And now here's the rain aspect with the surface low pressure systems. And you can see the heaviest rain with the front coming in from the west. That kind of lifts off to the north of Providence, Boston, Worcester, looking dry tomorrow at sunset. Topsfield Fair feels so bad, still dry at sunset. And it looks like the heaviest rain with Philippe stays off to the east, and then they merge over northern New England, and the real soaking occurs mostly in far northern New York, Vermont, probably not Vermont, and also Maine into Quebec. All right, now it's going to widen out. Let's go to the, I have to widen out like this to see the complete merger of the two systems. And you still have the low trying to back toward the west. That's called retrograding, and that almost never brings snow to the mountains of New England when you have low pressure systems that are strengthening and retrograding. The cold gets locked off too far to the west and south. And yeah, south. It could be snowing in New York while it's still raining at Mount Washington on Sunday night. That low deepens to 980 again, and it keeps on going west between James Bay and Lake Superior. And now we're getting out to be Tuesday. Spokes of energy come through here with some showers coming through here on Tuesday. And you have this just huge sort of decaying low pressure system that's going to now return and move to the east again. And as that happens, our wind will stay from the west. It'll be very unstable with chances of showers here. And then watch the west coast. Here comes a storm. It doesn't look so powerful when it comes into the west coast until I show you the 500 millibar, but it really starts to light up as it comes out of Colorado, where it's going to snow again next week in Colorado. And then you have a wave train of low pressure coming from the eastern Rockies right across the Midwest and into and off of New England, with eventually 1 or 2 or 3 sub 999 lows south of us, looking like a multi-day nor'easter next weekend. You want to see the precipitation trace on that? All right, there's our precipitation with these columns from south to north going across New England in the next 2 days. And then watch the precipitation coming in from the west. More columns coming from west to east. And it looks like a tic-tac-toe board forming over New England, with this weekend's rainfall and next weekend's rainfall adding up to 3 to 8 inches if somebody gets them both. Parts of Maine, maybe. Parts of New York and Vermont, impossible to say for next weekend. All right, one more. Let's go to the upper level wind. Here comes that trough digging. This trough with its origins from Russia and the Pacific Ocean, meeting up with that air from Africa. Please, T-Rex, stop. Time out. So sorry. Upper level lows just expanding over eastern Canada. Look at that. It's huge. So now you can't really see the embedded energy, but all you can say is that's a blend of air, modified air coming in from the Atlantic, from Canada, from the Pacific, all blending together. So you get modified air, and it's just a hodgepodge. You can't focus any cold air except for far to the north. So we're going to get just these showers, not snow showers, rain showers at the higher elevations. And then here comes that system off the Pacific Ocean. Look at that, raging through. It doesn't really show up much on the surface in the Rockies, but when it gets to the east, here comes this new trough that has origins in the Pacific Ocean, joining up with our old trough, and now you have a new storm and waves of energy coming at us next weekend. That would be many years, hours, and minutes of putting weather information into my head and trying to give you the big picture. I'm more of a big picture guy, showing the pieces of the puzzle, than the small picture guy that's going to tell you, oh, grab an umbrella, it's going to rain at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I grew up in an environment where we did not grab umbrellas. We were building houses and going fishing, and you tried to plan around that stuff. And I wouldn't go fishing in the Outer Banks this weekend, but I would have no problem going into Cape Cod Bay, because we're going to be between the two systems, and it's not going to be that rainy or that windy until the west winds on Sunday. I know a lot of the docks are coming out this weekend. I think Wessagusset, is it this weekend or next weekend? Next weekend actually looks like a much bigger storm threat than it does this weekend. I can't quite see the boats over there, but tempo appears to be gone. So the boats are coming out, and it shouldn't be that bad for it tomorrow. The heaviest wind's going to stay offshore. Yesterday had a good time again, when don't I, right? Watching the boats go by and counting the spiders. It was freaky fog yesterday, and I had freaky spiders, and I had the boats going by, and I was doing work in the yard, so it was a really Interesting day. It turned into a really beautiful day. So we had a beautiful record warm in parts of New England Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that means the weekend has to go the other way. Sorry about that. Hope you enjoy the end more, and maybe I can try and talk slower tomorrow. Talk to you later. 10 minutes. Just about 10 o'clock, the sky totally cleared out. The fog went away. Air was from the southwest, and just as quickly as the sun came out, warmed up the land, the air turned around now from the northeast, and the fog came in just at low levels, just below crow level. It's to be about 35 feet above the ocean, and I can still see the trees in Quincy. Just an amazing day so far. The goulash of weather is what New England is experiencing today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Focus, focus. Is this October enough video? Let's keep going. High noon, Blue Jay. Fog has gone away again. It's come and gone about 3 times already today. And we keep discovering more and more creepy crawlies. So October. Well, where'd you come from? What are you gonna have for lunch? Almost looks like you could have T-Rex for lunch if you tried. We won't let that happen, Rex, I promise. What are you doing? Would you do this? Oh man, that web is strong. Whoa! Are you starting a family in the fall? Everywhere now. What do you see, Steve? Birds and rabbits and stuff. And the tugs are going back in. Those are the same ones that escorted the Glenda Melissa out yesterday. Suppose I should get to know the name of these tugboats too. .30. Steve has moved into the shade, and not what I was expecting from the 2 tugs. I'm not sure. No, that's a different tug. Leaving the no wake zone, putting the pedal down. Sure. Not a spider, but certainly plenty creepy crawly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs, a couple of antennae. Where are you going? Watch out for the spiders up there. I wonder who would win in the war. That was fast. Here comes Glenda Melissa on the way out. Tugboat must be on the other side. About 26 hours after she got in. 600-foot long tanker registered in Liberia, but waving an American flag. Since September 5, Glenda Melissa has been from St. John, Canada to Milford Haven in the United Kingdom, to Boston, to Quincy. Next stop, don't know. About a 16-minute video. And the ship is still not through the gut. It's very narrow right there. So it looked like there was just one trailing tug. The other one was maybe just on standby. Standing by. 5 at 5 is next. All right, that's plenty for today. Very arachnid and maritime centric and more. Still probably don't know who's going to get the most rain. Last weekend was crazy. Hardly anything in Cape Ann, more than 3 inches northern Worcester County. Bet the managers at the Topsfield Fair weren't too thrilled by that blown forecast. Who are you looking at?